Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wanfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilman ya rabbal alamin. Allahumma arzuqna al-ikhlasa fil aqwali wal a'mal. Allahumma ij'al 'amalana fi ridaka amin ya rabbal alamin. Alhamdulillah. Uh, as you know, this is our 1 hour session wherein we'll be discussing some of the ahkam related to zakat, and then mostly we are going to spend some time on how to calculate the zakah that may be due upon us. As you know, zakah is an obligation, it is a farida that Allah Azza wa Jal has ordained upon His servants. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, as mentioned in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, wherein the Prophet ﷺ has said, Bunyal Islamu ala khamsin, shahadati Allah ilaha illallah, wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, wa iqami salati wa ita'i zakati, wa sawmi Ramadana, wa hajji baytillahil haram. Islam is built upon 5 pillars, and the most important of them, it is the testimony of faith, and it is in 2 parts. The first part is the ikhlas, and the second part is the mutabiyatul rasuli sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means to follow the guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his sunnah. So it is composed of these 2 parts. One without the other is of no use. Until both of them come together, then only this testimony is going to benefit. La ilaha illallah anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, because you cannot worship Allah until you know how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to worship Allah. So without Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you cannot know. Without affirming the risala and the messengership for him, you cannot learn any of the ibadat. You cannot learn how to do it in a true sense and true form. So without ikhlas, your none of your ibadah are acceptable. Without it being in accordance to sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, none of your ibadah are acceptable. These two are actually the conditions of acceptance of any ibadah. So even before you do any ibadah, you must come up with tawheed in your life. This is the reason this is the first pillar of Islam. And then comes the second pillar, which is the most important physical badani ibadah, which is iqam salat, to establish prayer. Iqam salat, it means to establish it with its giving due consideration to its arkan, its wajibat, its mustahabbat, paying attention to the makruhat, the mubahat, the muharramat, and everything. Paying attention to each and everything. This will be known as iqam salat. And then comes the one that we are going to discuss, ita is zakat. Ita is zakat, give the zakah, the obligatory charity which is to be paid once a year, if 1 year has passed upon the wealth. Zakat is paired with the salat in the book of Allah. Prayer is rarely mentioned in the Quran without being accompanied by zakat. Wa aqimus salata wa atu zakat. Alladina yuqimuna salata wa yutuna zakat. Always you will find zakat paired with as-salat in the Quran. Zakat is known as zakat because it purifies. It purifies. It is from the word zakah yaski. Khudh min amwalihim sadaqatan tutahhiruhum wa tuzakkihim biha. Take from their wealth a sadaqah, a charity, to purify them as well as their wealth. So this wealth, or the portion of wealth that is taken from the rich and returned to the poor, is a means of purification. It purifies the wealth owner. For this charity that Allah has obligated purifies his soul, pleases it, cleanses it, and rids it of many ailments also. Among these is that it protects him from the greed of the soul. وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Shuh, bukhl, misery, greed. It preserves and protects you from the greed of the soul, from the bukhl and the misery of the soul. Zakat also blesses and increases one's wealth, as the Prophet ﷺ has said, "Ma naqasat sadaqatun min malin." Charity does not decrease wealth, rather it is a cause for its blessing. Furthermore, zakat purifies the society by fulfilling the needs of the poor. The poor see that the wealthy recognize their needs, have given them part of their wealth to meet their necessities and needs. Zakat is taken from the rich and given back to the poor from amongst the Muslims. It is a great obligation in Islam, leading to significant and numerous benefits. If zakat is paid the way it is to be paid, you won't see a single poor roaming on the street. You won't see even a single poor roaming on the streets. But it is not paid. It's a very sad state of affairs of the Ummah that it is not paid the way it should be paid. May Allah give us that understanding that we give out our zakah in the proper manner. Now, the first and the most important thing is who the zakat is due upon. Is the zakah due upon everyone? The answer is no. Zakah is mali ibadah. It is an ibadah which is related to wealth, because the ibadat they are divided into either badani. There are ibadat which are purely physical, and then there are ibadat which are purely financial, like the zakat, which is mali ibadah, al ibadah al maliya, related to wealth, financial, related to finance. While prayer, as salat, is an ibadah which is related with badan. It is a physical ibadah. And then there are ibadat which are both financial as well as physical. It is the hajj, which involves spending money. At the same time, it involves physical efforts during the 5 days of hajj. So zakat is a ibadah which is related to wealth, money, property. So is it due upon everyone? The answer is no. It is due upon certain individuals in who certain conditions are found. What are these certain conditions? These certain conditions are: number one, he should be a Muslim. Condition number one, hiya wajibatun ala kulli muslimin, which means zakah is not upon someone who is not a Muslim. If he pays zakah, it will not be acceptable. Zakah is not to be taken from a no-Muslim. In fact, no deeds are accepted from him, neither zakat or any other act of worship, because as we said earlier, Bunyal Islamu ala khamsin, Shahadati Allah ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He did not come up with this first pillar. He has not yet entered the fold of Islam. And for every ibadah to be acceptable, there are conditions with it. And every ibadah, there are two conditions which are common in every ibadah in order for it to be acceptable, in order for it to be correct. For the correctness of an ibadah, there are two conditions. Besides the conditions we saw earlier, which is the condition of ikhlas and the mutabiyatul Rasul Islam. Other than that, there is a condition. The condition is Islam and the niyyah, intention. And when we say Islam, it includes already the ikhlas and the mutabiyatul Rasul Islam. This is what Islam is. Islam is nothing but it is Tawheed, and it is the uh, mutabiyatul Rasul Islam, following the Sunnah of Rasulullah Islam. This is what Islam is. So your ibadah will only be correct if you bring, or you are entered, or you have entered into the fold of Islam. Number two, you must have the intention of performing that ibadah. So a non-Muslim, his deeds are not accepted from him, even if he does whatever deeds he is doing. Even if he were to spend his wealth in charitable causes, Allah would not accept it from him. If a disbeliever were to build homes for widows, hospitals for the sick, and orphanages, none of this would be accepted by Allah, because disbelief nullifies deeds. ما منعهم أن تقبل منهم نفقاتهم إلا أنهم كفروا بالله ورسوله. Disbelief prevents the acceptance of deeds. ومن يكفر بالإيمان فقد حبط عمله وهو في الآخرة من الخاسرين. The one who disbelieves, the one who does not believe in Islam, who is not upon Iman, then his deeds have gone to waste, vain, and this person in the hereafter will be of the losers. If a disbeliever spends whatever he spends and donates his wealth to good causes, it does not benefit him in the least, for the belief is a prerequisite for the acceptance of deeds. This is the first condition. Islam has to be there. Zakah is not due upon non-Muslims, but he will be held accountable for not paying each year which will pass by on his wealth for which he has not paid zakah. He will be held accountable for it, and he will be punished for it. But if he spends, it will not be accepted until he comes into the fold of Islam and then spends. But he will be held accountable. And evidence you can read in Suratul Muddammil, towards the Suratul Muddathir, towards the in the 29th surah, when the believers will ask those who have entered the Jannah, Ma salakakum fi sakar? Qalu lam nakum minal musallin. And if you read until the end, they will say, we did not used to feed poor, we did not used to give zakah, we did not used to believe in the hereafter. And the one who does not believe in the hereafter is a disbeliever. Why? Because it is from the pillars of Iman. Jibreel alayhi salam came and asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, akhbirni anil iman. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, al imanu an tumina billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhiri. Wal yawmil akhiri. Fifth pillar of Iman. Wa an tumina bil qadri khayrihi wa sharrihi. The sixth one. These are the six pillars of Islam. And one of them is to believe in the last day. And since he did not believe in the last day, he is a disbeliever. Despite this, he said that, despite being a disbeliever, the first thing he mentioned why he is in the hellfire is because he was not of those who used to pray. Lam naku minal musallin. We were not of those who used to pray. Which means they will be held accountable for every prayer they did not pray in the dunya. They will be held accountable. And if they were to pray in the state of disbelief, it will not be accepted from him. It will not be accepted from them. This is the first condition, Islam. The second condition is hur. Hur. Condition number two. The person should be free. He should not be a slave. Free person. Zakat is due on free person. There is a difference of opinion here by some scholars, but the majority opinion is that if a person is slave, though the slavery doesn't exist in our times, but still the scholars they do talk about this. So it is only applicable upon someone who is free. Because a raqiq, a slave, aqin, pure slave, his wealth is not his, it belongs to his master. Whatever he possesses, it belongs to his master. He doesn't possess anything of his own. Whatever he has in his possession, it will be his master's property. It will be the property of his master, which means he possesses nothing. And if he possesses nothing, which means there is no zakat due upon his property. It is his master's. His master will pay because it is his property. So the master will pay. So hur. Third thing, malaka nisaban. This is the third shart. Malaka nisaban. That he must possess the nisab, which is the threshold amount of wealth, minimum amount of wealth subject to zakat. It is the threshold. The person must own the nisab. If someone possesses wealth below the nisab, then zakat is not due upon him. It is not due upon him. So he is not required to pay the zakah. However, if he voluntarily gives charity, he will be rewarded for it. But it is not obligatory upon him to pay the zakah. This is the third condition. And we'll talk about what nisab is of different wealth. We'll talk about it. And the fourth condition is for the zakah to become obligatory is this one. 1 year, 1 lunar year must pass on the wealth. La zakata fi malin hatta yahulu alayhi al-haul. Al-haul is 1 year. Lunar year, not the solar year. A lunar year is around 10 days to 12 days shorter than the solar year, the Gregorian year. Around 10 to 12 days shorter. So there is no zakat in wealth until 1 year passes on it, 1 lunar year. Which means if somebody receives money on the 1st of Muharram, then the zakat will become applicable on this money on the 30th of Zilhijj. 30th of Dhul-Hijj, because now this is 1 year complete. If this 1 year completes on this money which he received on the 1st of Muharram, if it is more than the nisab, if this person is hur, if he is Muslim, then the zakat is due. Which means that if you see the conditions, which means that if someone is a small child who has not yet reached the age of discernment, who has not yet reached the age of even uh, puberty, the zakat is due on this wealth, on the wealth of this child also. If this child is insane, or if this person is insane, Someone who is majnoon, a mad person, insane, zakat is due on his wealth. The wali, the one who is looking after the affairs of this person, will give the zakah from the wealth of this person who is a child or who is an insane person. Because it is not a condition here that it has to be that this person has to be aqil baligh. As if you see in most of the ibadat, it is a condition like prayer, aqil baligh, siyam, aqil baligh. But when it comes to zakat, it is not mentioned here, which means zakat is due on a child's property also, because a child may inherit money from his dead father. He can become and turn into a millionaire while he is still in the womb of his mother, and he become a millionaire. So zakat is due; it is to be paid from the properties of the orphans also, insane also, small child also. Zakat is due. So, these are the only four conditions. If this person is a Muslim, he is free, he possesses nisab, and we will see what nisab is. And if 1 year passes on this wealth, which is nisab or more than that, then the zakat is due on it. Zakat is now how many types of wealth zakat is due? Four types of. There are only four types of wealth upon which zakat is due. What are those four things? Number one, as-sa'ima min bahimatil an'am, the cattles. And bahimatil an'am are only three things: camels, both male, female; cows, also buffaloes, male, female; and goat, sheep, including male, female, including male, female. Even their offspring, yani if they give birth to a baby, and if this baby is just 1 day old, it will be considered as the within this group, and the zakat has to be paid on. Even if it is 1 day old, it is to be considered in the as a whole, and zakat is to be paid. If it reaches the nisab, obviously nisab is for all of them, and their nisab is calculated differently. We are not going to talk about that because this is not our topic. This is, we don't indulge in this activity now. There are very few, but this is the first thing upon which zakat is due, first kind of wealth, which is as-sa'ima min bahimatil anam. And there are some additional conditions beside these four. There are some additional conditions as well in order for zakat to become applicable on the cattle. Sa'ima min bahimatil anam. Second one is al-kharij min al-ardi. This is the earthly produce, crops, standing crops, grains, rice, wheat, barley, all of these things. There is zakat due on it. Again, it has its own condition. It has its own conditions. Besides these four conditions, some additional conditions are there. Again, we are not going to talk about this as well. Third is the urud at-tijara. Third kind of wealth are the urud at-tijara. What are urud at-tijara? These are the merchandise, items, commodities which are prepared for selling and buying, which you see in the shops, grocery stores, car showrooms, jewelry shops. Whatever you see where selling and buying is taking place, they all fall under the category of urud tijara. Even the land business, selling and buying of lands, they also fall under the category of urud tijara. Third type of wealth. And the fourth type of wealth which we will talk about is the asman. Asman is everything which has got an intrinsic value. They have a value in and of itself, which means you can use them uh, for buying and selling. They have purchasing power. Asman. These are the only four types of properties upon which there is zakah. Other than that, there is no zakah on any other property. These are the only four things, unless they fit in one of these four categories. Like if somebody is dealing in poultry farm, then it will not fit under the category of bahimatul anam, because we saw that only three types of cattle, animals, they fall under the category of bahimatul anam. So chicken business, poultry business will fit into this category of urudut tijara, buying, selling. So it will not fall under this, but it will fall under this. Okay. So these are the only four types of things upon which zakah is due. Now we'll go into the asman. We'll go into the asman. Asman is everything which has got an intrinsic value. It has a buying power. This is what asman is. Back then, during the time of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, They used to deal with two things: zahab and fidda. These were their asman. These were the things which had the buying power. Zahab and fidda, gold and silver. In our times, we have one more thing. It is paper currency. This we have now, paper currency. So, but back then they had only these two things. They used to buy and sell using gold and silver coins. The gold coin used to be known as dinar, and the silver coin used to be known as dirham. Dinar and dirham. In order to understand the nisab, it is important to understand what kind of currency they used to deal with. Then only we'll be able to understand the uh, nisab properly, and then you will never get confused with the nisab. People get confused with the nisab. They try to talk about sade sat tola, 7.5 tola, 8 tola, half kg, 595 grams. All of these things will become very easy once you understand the concept, what kind of currency they used to deal in. Dinar and dirham. Dinar is the gold coin and dirham is the silver coin. Dinar is also sometimes they used to call it as mithqal. Misqal. Some they used to call it as mithqal also. Dinar and dirham. Now, dinar used to be a gold coin. This is dinar and this is dirham. Okay, this is dinar, this is dirham. Now, one dinar, what used to be the weight of one dinar? One dinar. How much was the weight for one dinar? Remember it. 4.25 grams used to be the weight of one dinar. And dinar, I said it is gold coin, which means one gold coin in their time used to weigh 4.25 grams. It used to be gold and it is pure gold, what we know as, I think, 24 carat. This is the pure gold. One dinar, 4.25 grams each. Okay. Now, in the hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he told the companions that how much zakat is to be paid on gold and silver. And from this hadith, we come to know of the nisab of the gold and the silver. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he told the companions that for every 20 dinar, the zakat is half a dinar. So all of it will come from here. Everything will come. Will be able to make out from these hadith only, which Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told the companions. He what did he say? Every 20 dinar, half a dinar is to be given as zakat. So this is zakat, and we understand from this that this is the nisab, because he said for 20 dinar is half dinar. He did not say for 10 dinar is quarter dinar. He did not say that. For 10 dinar is quarter dinar. No, he said for 20 dinar is half a dinar, which means this must be the nisab of gold. So this is the nisab of gold, 20 dinar. Likewise, he said that there is no zakat due on silver except if it reaches 200 dirhams, and then for every 200 dirhams, the zakat is 5 dirhams. If you correlate all of these things, is it possible for you to find out how much is the zakah on gold and silver? By combining these two, can you develop a relationship? Can you tell me how much is the zakah? If you look at this, 20 dinar, half dirham, 200 dirhams, 5 dirhams zakah. So what is the zakah now? How did the ulama they calculated the that how much zakah is to be paid on gold and silver? How do we and why do we say that it is 2.5%? How much is the zakah? Can you work it out? From this, is it possible for you to work it out? 20 dirham, it is half a dinar. 20 dinar, for every 20 dinar, half a dinar is to be given as zakah. So if you simply slightly rearrange, you'll come to know that it is 1 by 40. It is 1 by 40. You multiply both the sides with 2, and you get, for 40 dinars you are paying 1 dinar, which means 1 in 40. 1 in 40. And this is what we know as the zakat to be paid on the asman. Everything which has an buying power, this is the zakat for it, 1 of 40. And this itself, if you convert it, it will convert into 2.5%. This is how we know 1 by 40. Yes, it is 2.5%. The same applies to this also. 5, see, divide it, bring this 5 here. Okay, 200 divided by 5 is same 40, which means 40 dhs, 1 dhs, again 1 on 40, 1 on 40. This is the zakat on gold and silver, 1 by 40. Okay, they also call it as quarter of the tenth, quarter of the tenth, quarter of the tenth. Either you call it as quarter of the tenth, or you call it 1 by 40, or you call it 2.5%. They all are one in the same thing. So now we have understood. We have understood the nisab. Nisab of gold is how much? Nisab of gold is 20 dinar, and nisab of silver is 200 dirhams. But now we don't deal in dinars and dirhams anymore. We don't deal in dinars and dirhams. Now we deal in what? We deal in grams. We deal in grams. But we know we have the conversion rate. 1 dinar used to be 4.25 grams of gold. Is it now possible to convert this 20 dinar into grams? Yes. 20 into 4.25. If you do it, 20 fours are 80, plus quarter of 20 is 5, 85 grams. Quarter of 20 is 5, and 4 times 20 is 80. 80 plus 5, 85. This is how you get 85 grams of gold is the nisab. This is how, why the scholars they say 85 grams is the nisab of gold, by using this conversion only. Okay, now in terms of tola, that is I don't know, because this tola may vary. I don't know how much 1 tola is. Is it 10 grams, or little less than 10 grams, or little more than 10 grams? I don't know. This is what the criteria is, 85 grams. If you have jewelry, if you have pure gold or the biscuit or whatever, go to the jewelry shop, ask this sunar, this person, he will put your jewelry into his balance, and he'll give you the value, whatever it is, 100 grams, 85 grams, 90 grams, 200 grams, whatever is, just ask him. He'll give you, he'll give you the value. And then you know how much gold you have. All right. One more important thing, this the zakat is on 24 karat gold, on the 24 karat gold. Okay, and I believe now we have the rates for every carat, and even 18 karat gold you have different rate. For 20 you have different rate, 22 you have different, 24 you have I think this is available now in our times. If these rates are available, well and good. Simply multiply it with the gold that you have. If you have 18 karat gold, say 100 grams for example, so you know the rate for 18 karat per gram how much. You know it, for example, it is 6500 per gram. Multiply it with 100 and you will get the worth of gold you have in terms of rupees, or whatever currency you are following. Just multiply it, you'll get it. If you have 22 karat gold and you have the rate for 22 karat gold, say for example 7000 rupees a gram, multiply it with the amount of gold you have, and you will get the figure as, for example, 7 lakhs, for example. Okay, so this is how you will be able to work out how what equivalent, or how much it converts into equivalently in the currency, in Indian rupees or whatever currency you follow. Okay, so but the Dhaka is due on 24 carat. In case if you do not have the rates for 18 carat, 20 carat, 22 carats, then you can convert it. How do you convert? For example, you have 18 carats of gold, 100 grams, but the rate is only available for 24 carat in your place, or for some reason you don't know, you only know the rate for 24 carat, say for example 8000 per gram, but this is the rate for 24 carat. The gold you have is 18 carat, and 18 carat obviously will be lesser than this. So either you can save, consider, multiply it with this 8000, this 100, and you can pay on that amount, and alhamdulillah you would have paid more. You are on a safer side. But if you still want to calculate, you can do that. What to do? 18 divided by 24, multiply with the 100 grams which you have. When you do this conversion, you will come to know that how much this 100 grams of 18 karat gold is equal to in terms of 24 karat, and it will be less. So 3 4, it will be around 75 grams. So 100 grams of 18 karat gold is actually 75 grams of 24 karat gold. Now you can multiply this 8,000 with the 75, though it has gone down the nisab, which is 85 grams as we saw earlier, but still, just for the sake of calculation right now, to know how to do that. So 8,000 multiplied by 75 grams is what comes out to be your value for the 75 grams of gold. So this small calculation you can do. Now we have understood the nisab for gold in terms of grams, which is 85 grams. This is for gold. Now we need to know the nisab for silver also. There is a conversion which the scholars they use, and the conversion is 1 is to 7, which means you have to multiply the gold nisab by 7 and you will get the silver nisab. 85 into 7 multiplied, because it is 7 times the ratio, conversion ratio between gold and silver is 7. 7 is the conversion ratio, which means 10 dirham is equal to 7 dinar. 10 dirhams is equal to 7 dinar. This is the conversion. It is 7 times. So if you do all of these calculations, you will come out to this, you will arrive at this conclusion. Multiply the nisab for gold, which is 85, with 7, and you will get the nisab for silver. 7 5s are 35, 3 here, 8 7s are 56 plus 3, 59. This is how 595 gram comes out to be for silver. This is a nisab for silver, 595 grams. I hope you can relate now. This is what we have been listening right from our childhood, that the nisab for gold is 85 grams and the nisab for silver is 595 grams. This is how it is calculated. And the dirham, this coin, gold coin dirham, it used to be around 2.97 grams approximately. Just like the gold coin used to be 4.25 grams, a silver coin used to be around 2.97 grams approximately. But this is the conversion ratio. 7 times. Multiply the nisab with 7 and you will get the nisab for silver. So I hope now you know the nisab for gold and silver. Now these grams you can very easily convert into Indian rupees or whatever currency. Yesterday we checked the rate. For silver it came out to be around this much per kg. 1,10,000 rupees a kg. So if you want to know the nisab, which means you have to find out the value or the money or the amount for 595 grams of gold. And if we consider it to be 600 grams approximately instead of 595, then you will come to know that this nisab of silver is actually 66,000 rupees. This is the nisab for silver. This is the nisab for silver, which is 66,000 rupees, Indian rupees. In other currencies, it could be different, but in Indian rupees, 66,000 Indian rupees is the nisab for silver. And the nisab for gold, 85 grams is the nisab for gold. And the gold rate, I believe, is somewhere around 80,000 rupees per 10 gram or 8,000 rupees per gram. 8,000 rupees per gram approximately. I don't know what the rate is exactly, but somewhere around this figure only. Multiply this 8,000 with 85. If you multiply 85 with 8,000, you will get the nisab in terms of Indian rupees. 468 three zeros. This is the nisab for gold. Nisab for gold. Yani if someone has this much money or more, zakat is due. If even if it doesn't have gold, no problem. If it has money, now one important point which needs to be understood is, should we consider the nisab for gold or silver? Should we consider the nisab for gold or silver? The scholars they say you have to consider al-ahaz. Al-ahazzu lil fuqara, the one which is more beneficial for the fuqara is to be considered. What is more beneficial? Is it 6,80,000 is going to be more beneficial for the fuqara or 66,000? Obviously, if you consider the nisab to be 66,000, it is going to be more beneficial for the fuqara. Why? Because even those who have like 1 lakh rupees, they will be able to give zakah. But if we consider the nisab for the gold, then very few people will be able to, or very few will be eligible to pay the zakah. Very few, because no, very few people they possess, either this much wealth or gold equal to 85 gram. Gold is costly in our times. In our times, gold is costlier than silver, and this situation may change in the times to come. Silver may become costlier. It may happen. You never know. But in any case, you should consider al ahaz. The scholars they say the one which is more beneficial for the poor and the masakin, you consider the nisab for that. In our times, the nisab for silver is ahaz for the fuqara, because even those who have 70,000 rupees and 1 year has passed on this wealth, they will pay zakat on 70,000. And if we consider the zakat to be of only this, if we consider nisab for gold, then they will not pay. They will say, no, zakat is not due on us. So the fuqaha they say, consider the nisab for the lesser of the two. Consider the nisab for the lesser of the two. This is one thing. Second thing, if you have gold, silver, as well as cash, none of them individually reach the nisab. None of them. Gold is only, say, for example, 50 grams. Silver is also 50 grams. Cash is only 30,000. None of them are reaching the nisab. See, gold is 85 grams, it is less than that. Silver is 50 gram, it is less than 595 grams. Cash is 30,000. We saw that the nisab for silver is 66,000. It is below that value. So even zakat is not applicable on cash. So should we pay or should we not pay? The scholars they say you have to add them up. Add them up, because all of these are what? Asman. We just saw they are Asman. They have intrinsic value. They have buying power. You have to add them up. Add them up and see if it reaches the nisab or not. If it reaches, you have to pay. If it does not reaches, you need not to pay. You need not to pay. Okay. So this is how the scholars they say. You have to convert it. So how, what to do? Find out the how much 50 grams of gold is equal to in Indian rupees. How much 50 grams of silver is equal to in Indian rupees, and this is already rupees. Add them up. What this figure is? See if it is more than the nisab for one of these two, the lower of these two, zakat is due, and the lower definitely in our times is the silver. So just keep this figure in mind for right now. If you add them up and the value which comes out, if it is greater than 66,000, which means zakat is due. If it doesn't come out to be greater than 66,000, zakat is not due. And in our times, there is hardly someone whose earnings are less than this. Yearly, people normally save this much more than that in our times, very easily. Illa mashallah, except maybe some handful of people would be there who are not earning even this much. Then there are those who are the recipient of zakat. You have to give zakat to them. But majority of the people in our times, you will see that they have this much money, but still they try to escape from paying zakat by saying that no, we do not have gold. They don't talk about silver. They don't talk about silver. They say we don't have gold equal to 85 grams, so we don't pay zakat. No, it is very dangerous situation. You have to pay al ahaz. You have to see al ahaz lil fuqara. What is more beneficial for the fuqara? Is it gold or is it a silver nisab? The silver nisab is ahaz for the fuqara, so you have to pay the zakat according to the nisab of the silver. Pay it. It will not cost you too much. It is only 2.5%. For every 1 lakh rupees, it will be only 2,500 rupees. So 66,000 is even less than that, maybe 2,000. Only 2,000 rupees you have to pay. Okay, so this is the nisab for the gold and silver. And we saw that you have to consider al-ahaz lil fuqara, the one which is beneficial for the fuqara. Consider the nisab for that. In our times, it is the nisab for silver. In our times, it is the nisab for silver. Okay, now what to do for those who are receiving salaries? So we understood this is rupees. These are the months: Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal, Rabiul Thani, Jumada al Ula, Jumada al Thani, Rajab, Shaban, Ramadan, Shawwal, Dilqad, Dilhij. 12 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the nisab line which will remain constant. Nisab may vary if the rates of the gold and silver are varying, but they don't vary as such too much. Maybe some 1,000 rupees here and there. But for the sake of ease, this is the nisab line. In our example, it is 66,000 line. As long as a person's income is varying underneath this line, there is no zakat due, which is understood. Understood. He is not crossing this line, which means there is no zakah upon this person. This person, person A, there is no zakah on his wealth because he is underneath the line of 66,000. So no zakah is upon him. As for the person, this is the earnings line, the graph. Zakah is due. How much we'll see. But one thing is sure that zakat is due upon B and no zakah is due on A. No zakah is due on A. Okay. Now salaries, they keep on coming. Expenses, they keep on occurring. You keep on spending money. Every month money keeps in and it keeps on coming in. Every month you have expenses. Maybe you need to the grocery expenses are there, children education fees is there, medical expenses are there. So money keeps on coming going. What to do in this situation? The best option is you have the nisab line, and these are the 12 months. Okay, let us say 12 months. You need to have a starting point initially. Whatever has happened in the past has happened, forget about it. Let us begin fresh and new. Let us say, what is today? Today is, for example, it is the 18th, it is the 17th of Ramadan for us. Go to your bank account, check what is the bank balance you have on 17th of Ramadan. Say 2 lakh rupees. This is your bank balance on, this is, say, this is Ramadan only. And this is your figure, 2 lakh rupees. This is 2 lakh rupees. And this is 66,000. Which means, as of now, it appears that zakat is due. But wait, we said that 1 year must pass on this 2 lakh rupees. 1 year must pass on this 2 lakh rupees until the next Ramadan, until the 16th of Ramadan next year. So let us not rush. So this is 2 lakh rupees you have today. And this you can, you can even calculate for the past years also by using this approach, if at all, if you want to do that. Anyway, we are doing for this year 1446. So you have 2 lakh rupees as on date, 17th of Ramadan, 1446. Now this money will keep on, maybe in next month it may fall down to say 175. You did some expenses, salary also came, but still after salary came you had some expenses, light bill, phone bills, internet bills, medical emergencies, grocery, other requirements, clothing, this and that. You spend money, and then it came down to 1.75. Still it is more than 66, above the threshold line. In the next month again you had some more expenses, some emergencies. Now it is 150. In the next month, alhamdulillah, you were able to save more, and it reached up to 180, for example. It kept on happening like this, like this until it is Ramadan next year, 16th of Ramadan, 1447. See the bank balance on 16th of Ramadan, 1447. How much money you have in your bank balance, in your bank account? Say, for example, it is, this is the money now you have in your bank account, 190,000. What do you understand from these two figures? There is one very clear understanding which is coming now, that definitely 1 year has passed on 1,90,000 rupees. Definitely 1 year. Al Haul. We saw earlier one of the conditions is that 1 year must pass. So one thing for sure is that 1 year has passed on your 1,90,000, which means you have to give zakah on 1,90,000 for sure. The only doubt is concerning these 10,000 rupees. And 10,000 rupees, we are sure that, because the wealth was, money was coming in, salary was coming in, then some expenses are happening. So it was like a process, two-way process, money coming in, money going out. So this 10,000 is doubtful. 10,000 is doubtful. But this 1,90,000, you are absolutely sure that 1 year definitely has passed on 1,90,000. So pay with the peace of mind on this 1,90,000. Regarding this 10,000, if you wish to pay, it is well and good. It is well and good. You are paying more in any case, because you are doubtful about this 10,000. You are not sure. If you don't pay, inshallah, have hope from Allah that you will not be punished, because you are taking all possible care. But if you pay on this 10,000, you are paying more than what is due upon you. But what absolutely is due upon you is this amount, which is 1,90,000. So lesser of the two is always is certainty. Certainty is always with the lesser of the two. This could be other way around also. Like on the 17th Ramadan, you had 2 lakh rupees. On 16th Ramadan, 1447, you have 2,50,000. Alhamdulillah. Again, the lesser is 2 lakh. You are 100% sure that 1 year definitely has passed on this 2 lakh, which means pay this account this 2 lakh. The remaining 50,000 is a doubtful case. You don't know exactly at what point this 50,000 rupees came to you. But this 2 lakh, you are sure, right from the beginning until the end, it never fell below 2 lakh, which means 1 year has passed on this 2 lakh rupees. So pay zakah on this 2 lakh rupees. Only problem is with this 50K. If you wish, you can pay on that as well, and it will be considered as an advance zakah for you. And it is permissible to pay advance zakah for up to maximum 2 years. You can pay advance zakah, no problem. 2 year. So it will be considered as an advance zakah, and it will ensure your safety in the hereafter, because you are not paying less. In any case, you are paying more. In any case, you are paying more. So this is how you will calculate. This is the easiest approach I found out, and this is what I learned from my teachers. Dr. Mutlaq Jasir Al Jasir Hafizahullah, this is how he explained us. For those who are earning salaries, he said that this is the best approach which you can adopt. Otherwise, it is not possible for you. How will you be able to keep track of, though it now in our times it is possible. Yesterday also in the Urdu class I told this. If you have a bank account, and you can download the Excel sheet of your credit and debit expenses from your bank website. Credit and debit expenses you can download in the Excel file, and you know exactly, and you can plot it if you would like to. But you really want to spend that time doing this charting and graphing process? You can plot it, no problem. You have the credit amounts, and you also have the debit amounts, and you can very precisely plot, and you will be very precisely able to know exactly at what point how much amount came in, and at what point how much amount went out of your account. But then you will have to keep track of every incoming amount, and when 1 year is passing on this particular amount which came, say, on the 2nd of Muharram, some amount came, and then you will have to keep very precise vouch that exactly from this amount how much did I spend and how much did I save. It is very difficult, very difficult. So best and the best option is this one. This is the best option. Find out on one particular day, to begin with, how much balance you have in, not only in bank account, even if you have cash, consider it. Every single penny you have, consider it. Every single penny, consider it. In your bank account, in your house, cash, in terms of gold, silver, add them up and see how much it is. Add on date today. After 1 year, again calculate it how much it is, and the minimum of two, you should be certain that you have to pay zakat on that minimum amount out of these two. And the whatever is balance, if you pay, you are giving advance zakat, because this is doubtful. The excess is doubtful, but paying it is safety. It is safer for you. So this is one approach. The second approach is, you are least bothered about what is the you are least bothered about what was the bank balance, and what was the uh, how much money you had 1 year back. You are least bothered about it. You will only see what money I have today, and I'll pay on all of it. The most safe option to pay on it altogether, all of it. You are 100% sure that you paid the zakah on the amount upon which 1 year has passed. 100% surety. In this also you are 100% sure on the lesser amount, but this 50,000, it is doubtful case. Doubtful in the sense, when the 1 year will complete on this 50,000, you don't know. Will it complete after 1 day, after 1 month, after 1 week, after 2 months? You don't know. This excess 50,000, when the 1 year will complete on it, you don't know with surety for this 50,000. So paying on this 50,000 also is a safer option, because you will be at peace of mind, and you know that you have paid advance zakat, and it will not cost you. 50,000 is like 1250 only, 1,250 rupees only, and you are securing your hereafter by paying just 1250 if it is 50,000 taxes. Okay, so this is the safe option, but there is no harm in working out it this way. No harm, because the doubtful case is only the difference between the two. This is the doubtful case. Okay, so this is how you will pay, or you will work out your zakat, and then you will pay this zakat to the needy. Now, another important question which comes is, after having studied this and after having understood that you add all the property you have, gold, silver, cash, add them up, see how much it is as on date, see it after 1 year, lunar year. We are talking about lunar year, not the Gregorian year. After 1 year, see how much this cash is. The lesser of the two, you are sure that 1 year has passed on it. Pay the zakat on it. As for the balance, it is up to you. If you want to pay, better pay it off. You will be at peace of mind. You will save your hereafter, inshallah. After having understood this, the next question which comes is, who should this zakat be paid to? Who should this zakat be paid to? Can we pay it to the street beggars who you see sitting outside the masajid, roaming around in the street? Those who come to your house every other day, knocking your door and making up excuses, so many things they talk to you? No. You have to pay it only to one of those 8 categories who Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran in Surah At-Tawbah, ayah number 60. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم, until the end of the ayah. 8 of them. One of these categories you can pay, any one. It is not a condition that you have to pay to all the 8 of them. No. Even if you pay to any one of them, all of your zakat, it is no problem. If you distribute it among 8, no problem. Important thing is that the need of the needy must be fulfilled. Amongst these two categories, two of them which are mostly found are the fuqara and miskin, or masakin is the plural. Fuqara is the plural for faqir, masakin is the plural for miskin. Now, how to differentiate between fuqara and the masakin? See, if Allah mentioned innama sadaqatu lil fuqara'i wal masakin, see, there is a lam there, lil fuqara wal masakin. This lam, the scholars they call it as lam at tamlik. It is known as lam at tamlik. Yani to make someone an owner of something, which means this zakat, innama sadaqatu. The word sadaqah, if it comes on its own, then it also includes the meaning of zakat. It also includes the meaning of zakat. The scholars they say these are from those terms, when they are mentioned alone, they include the meaning of both types of charity, voluntary as well as obligatory. But in this ayah, according to the unanimous consensus of the scholar, they are unanimously agreed that the in this ayah, as sadaqat, it means the obligatory charity, which is zakat. Innama sadaqatu lil fuqara, which means the sadaqat are for the fuqara, which means make them the owner of this sadaqah, which means you have to give them the money, make them the owner. This is what is mean by making them owner. If you are not afraid that they will waste money, if you are not afraid of that they will waste money, in that case, make them the owners of that money, the sadaqah, the zakat. Give them the money, they are the owners now. Okay, so this is one thing which you must remember. It is to make them owners. Tamlik, lamut tamlik, it is known as lamut tamlik, lil fuqara'i wal masakin wal amilina alayha. Now, who are fuqara and who are masakin? The scholars they differentiate between them. Fuqara are more needy in comparison to the masakin. This is the reason Allah mentioned them first and the masakin later. Now, who are fuqara? For example, if a person's Monthly expenses are 5,000 rupees. These are expenses. Person A is earning 2,000 rupees a month. Person B is earning 4,000 rupees a month. A is faqir, B is miskin. Miskin is in a better position than faqir, which means faqir is the one who earns less than 50% of his expenses or needs, less than 50% of his daily or weekly or monthly or yearly needs. The one who earns less than 50% of his needs, be it daily need or weekly need or monthly need or yearly need, such a person is faqir. And the one who earns more than 50% of his daily needs or needs, be it daily or weekly or monthly or yearly, more than 50% of his needs but less than his full complete needs, then such a person is miskin. This is what the scholars have differentiated, how they have differentiated between the two, which means a faqir is more in need than the miskin. Now, how much to give them zakah? Again, the scholars, they say shortfall. How much is the shortfall for the faqir? 3,000. How much is the shortfall for the miskin? 1,000 rupees a month, which means give them zakat so that it suffices them for one whole year and for one whole year until next zakat is due upon the rich, which means make them self-sufficient for one complete year. This is what the scholars they say, which means give 36,000 to the faqir in our example and give 12,000 to this miskin person B, so that his needs are taken care of for the rest of the year. He need not to beg on the streets, he need not to come out of his house. He's earning 4,000 already, just 1,000 is shortfall. Make up for that shortfall, and you would have paid your zakat, and your responsibility is fulfilled. Unless some extra emergencies, some medical emergencies, or some other kind of emergencies they come, that's a different story. Then that is also to be taken care of separately. So this is how the zakat is to be paid to those recipients of the zakat which Allah has mentioned in the ayah number 60 of Surah At-Tawbah. And there are other categories also. These are not the only categories. As we said, if you read that ayah, there are six more categories. Like al-amilina alayha are those who are appointed by Waliul Amr, though this system does not exist in our country, but where it exists, where they have Baitul Mal, and where there are persons, people responsible for collecting zakat and then distributing it to the needy, then you have to pay the salaries to these individuals who are spending their times and effort, and they fall under the category of al-amilina alayha. Those who are acting and working for the cause of zakat, collecting it and distributing it, give them salaries even if they are millionaires, billionaires, but they are putting in their time and effort. Unless they say that we are doing it voluntarily, that's a different story. But if they take it from the zakat money, it is no harm. It is their right. Allah mentioned them, al-amilina alayha. Likewise, al-mu'allafati qulubuhum, those whose hearts are inclined towards Islam, they can include the new Muslims, and they also includes those who have some kind of inclination towards Islam. And the scholars, they can better vet the situation, and they know if we give this person something from the zakah money, he will bring his community into the fold of Islam, then that money can be given. Likewise, the scholars they say, if you feel harm from someone who is a non-Muslim, and if you are afraid of harm being caused from this person to the Muslim community, you can give from zakat to them in order to save the Muslim community from the harm of this person and this community. It could be done. Again, all of these things are done under the guidance of the Waliul Amr, the leader of the Muslim, if he exists. Or the scholars in our times, the ulama, they will decide that whether this situation exists or not anymore. And then there are others like Ibn Sabil, Fi Sabilillah, Ghari, Al Gharimin, those who have taken money, borrowed money from someone, and now it is difficult for them to repay it back, and he is now, his salary is not enough, he's under deep depression, pressure, people are coming asking for money back. You can give money and pay the loan of this person from the zakat money, from the zakat amount. Likewise, Ibn Sabil, someone who is lost, he lost his money on his way. In our times, it is very difficult to realize this situation and understand it, because now everything is on mobile. It is possible to transfer the money online from here to there. But still, if this case, once in millions, if this case exists, then we have a category of Ibn Sabil, the one who lost his money, lost his wallet, lost his mobile phone, He has no way to connect to the family back. Now you can pay the ticket of no, the money what he required to go back to his hometown, even if he is millionaire in his city. Today he is in need. Give it from the zakah, and it is permissible. Likewise, fi sabilillah. Fi sabilillah and fi jihad. Those who are doing and fighting for the cause of Allah, so that kalimatullahi hiyal ulya, so that the kalima of Allah, it always remains on the high. Those who are fighting for that cause, they can be paid from Baitul Mal, from the zakat of the Muslimin. Also, the scholars they mention a student of knowledge can be paid from the zakat money, but with the condition that this person, the student of knowledge, if he goes and starts earning, he will not be able to seek knowledge. If he seeks knowledge, he will not be able to earn. He can do only one of these two things. Then only you can give from the zakat money to a student of knowledge also. This is what the scholars they say. You can pay, but with this condition. And this is the reason it is important that no one should beg for the zakat money. Please give it to me, I am needy. It is very, very dangerous thing. If you are not deserving of it, and if you are asking, then know that you are not deserving of it, and you are taking nothing, but you are filling your stomach with fire. Very serious situation. People come to your house, they show themselves as from fuqara and masakin while they are not, and they take out money from you. They are held responsible. They will be held responsible in the sight of Allah, and equally also you will be, if you are not doing necessary checks before giving that money to this person. Do and no necessary checks, confirm. Necessary check doesn't mean that you go and poke into the lives of the people and their what they are doing, what they are earning, what kind of life they are living. No, this does not mean verifying. Verification is like simple verification. By simple discussion you come to know about a person. A faqir and a miskin is not one who you will find begging on streets. He will not someone of those. He has his own dignity and self honor. He will never put his dignity and self honor to stake. Whenever you will talk to him, you will always find him saying alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, but you know that he is in trouble. And how will you come to know of it? This is what the nizam of Islam is. When you will come to the masajid, the weekly Eid of the Muslims is on Friday. This gives you an opportunity to see and meet your brothers and sisters on this day, and this will give you an opportunity to understand and know who amongst you in the society is going through tough time. They may not speak with their tongues, but their situation will speak. The way they are behaving, the way they are living, the way they are wearing the clothes, this will actually reveal 95 or 95% of the time it will reveal their situation. And this is the reason, it is one of the great, this is one of the purposes of masajid is also this. They are the centers of knowledge. At the same time, they are also centers wherein the Muslims they come and in contact with each other, and they interact with each other, and they come to know about each other, who is going through what kind of trouble. After all, Muslims are one ummah. They are one human, like one human body. If one part of the body feels pain, the whole body feels the pain of because of that one part in pain and ache. This is what the Muslim community is all about. And you get that opportunity once in every week, and you get that a bigger opportunity once in every year. And sometimes you get this opportunity once every day, 5 times a day, in fact. When you go to the masjid, especially the males, you get this opportunity. You meet, you need, you see, you meet people. You get the opportunity to meet people. They come to know about what kind of situations they are going through. And this is how you identify and recognize the fuqara and the masakin from the society. Also, at this moment, it is important that we must also understand the need and the necessity of establishing Baitul Mal. This used to be there in the time of the companions of the Allahu anhum ajmain. They established Baitul Mal during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. They came up with the Baitul Mal. So we must have this nizam as well in our society of Baitul Mal. Have that nizam. It will ensure that the money will go to the needy. They will do the checks, they will do the verification and everything, and money will go to the needy people through Baitul Mal. So you do it. Or in the least, what you can do is in your family, in your the tribe, the khandan that you belong to, try to establish a Baitul Mal within the family. You must be having some people who are rich, and you definitely will be having people amongst your relatives who are weak comparatively. They are from the fuqara and the masakin. Establish a Baitul Mal in your family. 6, 7, 8 rich people who have huge amount of zakah, collect it at one place, and then ensure that you distribute it to the needy first and foremost in your family, and then if anything is remaining, then you can distribute it to your uh, neighbors, to your friends, to your community, to your society where you live in your town. This is something which should be worked on. So Baitul Mal is something which is to be established somehow, and you should ensure that now you are giving this money to the needy people in your society. Also, final and last point is that the zakah is due upon the owner of the wealth. Whoever possesses the wealth, zakah is due on him. A woman possesses her jewelry, the zakah is due on the woman. It is due on the woman. If she possesses the jewelry, it is due upon her, not upon her husband or her father. It is her jewelry. If she became the owner of the jewelry, she is the one who will pay the zakah on that jewelry. Husband gave her mahar, now she is the owner of that mahar. And if it is gold jewelry, she is the one responsible for paying. There is difference of opinion amongst the scholar regarding whether there is zakat on the jewelry which is of use or not. Difference of opinion. And the scholars have greatly differed in this area, greatly differed, and both the groups of scholars have very strong evidences with them. Those who say there is zakat due on the jewelry, they have very strong evidences. Those who say it is not due on the jewelry, they also have very strong evidences. So scholars have differed in this area. I say it is safe to pay on the jewelry also, to be on a safer side. This is ahwat, this is better, this is safe, because the punishment for not paying zakah on the jewelry, on the wealth that we have, is very severe in the hereafter. The same wealth will be melted, and this molten wealth will then be used, and you will be punished with that molten wealth of yours on your forehead, on your backs, on your sides. With this molten wealth you will be punished, and a very severe punishment. So to be on a safer side, it is better to pay the zakah on the jewelry which is prepared for use also. It is not going to cost you anything. You will realize and you will see that next year you will be paying more zakat than what you paid this year. And I'm sure you must have noticed this in the past also, and you'll notice this in the years to come, biiznillah. So this is what I have for this session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum.